Whenever you're ready.
Days before opening date, this is your, and in order to unlock.
All right, it is Tuesday, April 21st. It's 9 a.m., which means it's time for the regular session of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Council, do we have any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Chair and members of the board. Staff is requesting that we introduce an item related to the San Joaquin Air Control Board, Pollution Board, pardon me. And that arose after the agenda was posted. So staff is requesting that we add that, or that you add that to today's agenda as a subsequent need item and take it up under whenever you want, but pending legislation is a recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Council. Bring it back to the board for consideration.
I move that we take up this item and find that the need to take immediate action arose after the posting of the agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhoff.
Yes.
Chair McCulley.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you for that. With that, can we please read in our closed session items into the record?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Members of the board, for your closed session today is your conference with labor negotiators. Your designated representatives are your Assistant County Administrative Officer, your Director of Human Resources, and Sabrina Mendez, your Human Resources Manager. That's under Government Code Section 54957.6. All units, including all employee organization and unrepresented employees, all classifications except elected officials can be discussed. Under Government Code Section 54957, you have a discussion related to the appointment and employment of the position of Behavioral Health Services Director. Under 54956.9 of the Government Code, there's anticipated litigation, 2 potential cases with the exposure to the county under subsection 2 of subdivision D of 54956.9 of the Government Code. And the last is a performance evaluation under the same Government Code listed above on the agenda 54957 for your County Administrative Officer, an evaluation discussion. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you for that. Do we have any public comment on our closed session items this morning?
None online.
Excellent. With that, we will retire into closed session.
Ready?
All right, we are back from closed session. Council, do we have any reportable action out of closed session?
Chair, there is no reportable action from your closed session. However, there's still items on your closed session agenda to address. Thank you.
Thank you for that. At this time, I'd look to my colleagues for anybody that would like to open and close the meeting in memory of. Seeing none, I would like to open and close the meeting in memory of Courtney Aiello McDaniel, who passed away last week. Courtney was an artist up in the mountain area, a good friend of mine from high school. She will be very much missed. So, with that, I would like to invite Pastor Alex Hernandez with Grace Point Ministries up to lead us in the invocation, and I would ask my good friend Larry Bonham to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. Good morning to the community here. And also, I'd like to just, give condolences to the family that have lost a loved one. And we want to lift them up in prayer also. Let us pray. Gracious God, we come before you with humility and gratitude as the Board of Supervisors and the Madera County Administrators gather to serve the people of this community. Grant wisdom to every decision and clarity to every discussion in every area, including budgets and finances for every county department. And may everything be done with integrity. Guide these leaders to seek what is just, to act with compassion, and to work together in unity for the good of all. May their efforts bring peace, progress, fairness to those they represent. Bless this meeting with respect, purpose, and understanding. We entrust this time to you, Lord. We pray this in Jesus' name, and we say amen and amen. Praise be to God.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for that. At this time, we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Do we have any public comment at this time? Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's raining outside. This is really loud. Hi, Madera County Supervisors. My name is Jason Alviar, California American Water's Northern Division External Affairs Lead. You can reach me at jason.alviar@amwater.com or 916-291-1195. I'm here today to provide a brief overview of our Emergency Response Plan, or ERP, and we welcome ongoing coordination with city and county staff. And if you would like any additional information or a deeper discussion about any component of the plan, please don't hesitate to contact me. If I didn't say, we serve the Hillview and Bass Lake communities. Our ERP outlines how we protect, operate, and restore service in our water and wastewater systems during an emergency. It covers critical system components, reporting and notification procedures, security protocols, response actions, and the use of the Standardized Emergency Management System, also known as SEMS, within the Incident Command System framework. The priorities of the ERP are to first protect human life, followed by protecting the environment, property, and maintenance of essential water and wastewater operations. While we hope these plans are rarely needed, our responsibility is to be fully prepared. In the event of an emergency, this plan ensures we can respond effectively and maintain or restore service. including providing backup water supplies when necessary. Thank you for your time and for allowing me to present this overview. We value our partnership with community, and California American Water remains committed to ensuring the safety and resilience of our water systems. We appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you today, and are happy to meet with your team to review in more detail. Because of the nature of an emergency response plan and how big our system is, we can't provide you with the actual plan, but we can discuss it with you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And our Office of Emergency Services is actually here, so if you wanted to talk with Sergeant Weidler, I'd certainly encourage you to make that contact. And thank you for your comments. Appreciate you being here this morning. Unless there is any additional public comment?
And Chair, I'd like to have a public comment on behalf of one of my constituents. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to Dominic Tyberski, our Public Works Director, and Phil Toller, who is in Public Works as well. Had a resident reach out to me for a little while now about a well that had a humming noise, that they couldn't keep their windows open. I received a second complaint, and I know that every time I call Dominic or Phil, they curse my name just before answering the phone. But they were so on top of it. We went out to the well site. The well cycled several times, and it's very loud, obnoxious. These guys went to Home Depot, got OSB board, got some soundproof stuff, directed the sound another way, away from the home, and reported back to these residents, and they both got back to me just singing our praises. So I just wanted to give a special little shout out to our workers and the people that are so dedicated just to doing these little things that a lot of people don't recognize that our staff do on a daily basis that improve our people's lives. So thank you, guys.
Thank you for that, and thank you. With that, we're going to move on to our consent calendar. So all matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion unless an item is pulled for further discussion by a member of the board. Do we have any items that we'd like to pull for further consideration? Seeing none, we're going to look to the public for any public comment they may have. Any public comment in the room or online?
None online.
All right, hearing none, we're going to bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you for that. We're going to move on to our discussion items, and we're going to start with item 8A.
Board of Supervisors Department, District Number 5, presentation of the 2025 year-end review of Visit Yosemite.
Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning, Supervisors. Thank you for having me. This is our yearly presentation, let you know how we did last year in tourism for Madera County. Let's see, I have a presentation here. There we go. Okay. May is tourism month, and I kind of just wanted to start out, we just got the numbers yesterday, so hot off the press, and it's not in your packet, but I'll send these to you. And so, California Tourism Month, but I just want to let you know that numbers came in from Madera County. We actually had a 2.4 increase for the whole county, which was good. We thought last year was not a great year, which we'll see in my presentation. But we held on there. So $434.8 million in total direct spending for tourism in Madera County. Just going to give you some top line stuff here. Direct tax revenues, local tax was $18.4 million, and that is 5.5% up. State tax was $20.5 million, which was 5% up. And then direct employment jobs are 4,400 tourism-related jobs in Madera County. It's a big industry for us.
Say 18.4 in sales?
Tax, that's tax revenue.
Sales tax, I mean. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, that was hot off the press. I didn't get a chance to put it in the presentation at all. Okay, here we go. So you know our mission statement, and I always have to put that in there to remind people we're here to bring tourism into Madera County, to get people to stay, play, recreate, cultural entertainment, all the things that we have to offer, which is an embarrassment of riches in Madera County, let me tell you. You know this. So that's our mission statement. And then our team. So we are 10 strong now, and we have 3 in marketing, including plus myself. Lainey's our director of operations. Sandy is a new hire, administrative assistant. She's going to work as a marketing coordinator. And then we've got Amanda and Katrina and Phyllis and Janine, who are our leads in our visitor center as well. And then we have 15 volunteers. These are the heart of our visitor center, helping, you'll see like 26,000 people a year find out what to see and do in Madera County and stay an extra day. They volunteer 4 hours, 1 day a week.
Sorry about that.
TBID summary. So I just kind of top line here. So our TBID hit over 2 million for the first time ever last year. And if you remember back when, oh my gosh, 2010, when we lost our funding, our $250,000 funding, in 15 years, we've grown to 2.2 million for our marketing dollars that we can spend. We're up 16.3% last year. That is, if you don't compare apples to apples, which I had to, so my marketing brain says I didn't want to tell you this, but we were actually, if it was apples to apples, because we added the 0.5% last year, so if it was 2% to 2%, we would have been down about 6%. But let's go with the up 16.3. Short-term rentals were a highlight. They were up a lot in revenue, and average daily rate. Occupancy was down just a little bit. Hotel revenue was down last year. Average daily rate was down and occupancy was down. So visitor statistics. We continue, last year international was down a bit. It's funny, Canada, for obvious reasons, was down, but they're not a big, they're not really big for us in terms of numbers, because they want to come when we have winter as well. You know, so they want to go to Palm Springs. More. Mexico was pretty high up, and then Japan is the leading international tourist that is rising way up. In fact, Brooke here, our Director of Sales and Marketing, she will be going to Japan and Korea on a mission in July, I believe. Anybody guess why Japan's way up in California? Ohtani. Baseball. Everybody wants to see where Ohtani lives. We'll take it any day. Also here, I just want to point out, so we knew we were the most popular entrance to Yosemite. We've known that for years. But what I didn't know is that Arch Rock, which is Mariposa, and Tioga together doesn't even make up the amount of people that come through this southern gateway. Wow. Yippee.
Fantastic.
Visitor guide stats. So visitor's guide is still our #1 information piece that we send out to everybody that says, hey, this is all there is to see and do. Pick us, because they have so many destinations they can pick, and 4 Yosemite gateways as well, but this is what we have, so pick us. So our printed guide is very popular still. We print 85,000 of those a year. And then you could see here the online performance with almost 300,000 page views, a lot of requests for email, for mailing them, a lot of downloads and stuff. So with the mighty internet and downloadable things, it just, you know, makes it just bigger and better. And if you, oh, no, I didn't put the new one on there. All right. So just a little bit about marketing. Our 3 major marketing platforms or pillars are the domestic visitor. Basically, we do the Fossils to Falls road trip, which I've talked about for many years now. That is basically a fossils discovery center all the way to Yosemite waterfalls and all the fun things in between. We have a big promotion on that and the video, which I'll share again with you to remind you at the end of the presentation. Our welcoming committee since 2014, we've had our fun animal characters out there. They have big egos. They have their own trading cards, their own stuffed animals, their own stickers, all kinds of stuff. People come in and bring in their trading cards, and they get prizes and get entered into a big contest every year. But it talks to families a lot, and we even make them responsible now, so they have responsible clothes and messaging just to make sure people know to take care of our forests and take care of the planet. Majestic Mountain Loop, we've been doing that since about the same time, 2012, 2011. That is a partnership with Visit Visalia and the Fresno Airport, and we all work together to promote how close Sequoia and Kings Canyon are to Yosemite, especially to our international visitors. They're not coming here for one thing, as we all know. So the Majestic Mountain Loop is still a very popular marketing program that we do. I'm not going to go over all these numbers. If anybody ever has any questions and wants to drill into this, please reach out. But so basically on digital ad campaigns through our agency, we spent $208,000, had almost 50 million impressions with that. 900,000 clicks to our website from that, and that's what we're trying to do when we do our marketing, is get them to the website to go in and explore. Cost 23 cents, which is way below average. So that's some of the digital ad campaigns that we do. Influencers. So influencers are really popular still, and they're part of our marketing mix. So we had about 15, I believe, influencers come through Madera County, and you can see a lot of collaborative posts, 2.5 million impressions from their audiences, and a lot of engagements, and average engagement, 2.5% is really big. I think it's about 0.5% or less on normal engagement when you're hitting that many people. So these out of the 2.5 million, 2.5% of them clicked around and really got excited about it. We just had somebody come in the visitor center who saw one of our TikToks and had to meet our celebrity volunteer, and Sue, and they had to buy the hat she was wearing. That was in our visitor. Crazy the things that happen when you get out on TikTok. All right. Global sales, international engagement, just kind of a little bit about who we're engaging, what countries that we're engaging, we're talking to. Brooke attends IPW every year. She is an overachiever on trade appointments, which is amazing. She gets more trade appointments than anybody I've ever seen. Talks to a lot of people, and these are buyers. These are people who are bringing international people to our country, whether on their tour buses or if they're just coming on their own. International still book a lot through travel agents, so we talk to a lot of travel agents. And then we get the leads, and we continue to talk to them quarterly and tell them what's going on. International social media campaigns, we also do those. We hit a few countries, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Mexico. I believe we took Canada out this year and put in Japan maybe into our mix, just because that's who's coming and that's who's listening right now. So here's just some numbers. We didn't spend a lot of money, but we really want to get the messaging out. And this year we want to get the messaging that Yosemite's open, there's no reservations, there's digital passes now that will help get people in there easier. Some destination community impacts that we did. The Celtic Festival, whoever made it up there, you will come back every year. It was incredible. I was just blown away about how many people dress up and how much this is a fad. It was so much fun. So we had about 3,000 attendees. Everybody's like, this is so cool. We definitely have some things we could do better, but it's a really, really fun event. It's in October, like 17th, I believe, this year. Our second annual facelift, which Brooke also manages that. They removed 780 pounds of trash, 20-yard skips, and wasn't it like 14 shopping carts from the river or something crazy, or was that the first year? But it's a good community event that really helps clean up our little local park. Poppy Awards, another Brooke. You're the star. Brooke worked with KTLA on we had a commercial, and somehow she talked them into doing a program with Chevy, the Chevy dealerships that is still playing today. So at the time that we did this, which was 6 months ago, when we checked the impressions, 16 million impressions of Chevy bringing up their cars to Bass Lake in Yosemite, talking about us. Tourism improvement grants, when I came to this board asking for the 0.5% raise that our lodging industry voted in favor of, I said that we would be helping the community. And this is what we did last year with that 0.5%. We had it for the 3 of the quarters out of the 4. So we've been able to give $130,000 out to a lot of different nonprofits in the area and really helping our community grow. And our infrastructure. As we know, Yosemite can close at any time, the forest can close at any time, and we want people to still stay and stay in the area, not leave. We presented this already, but I had to put it in there because I was so happy about this program. The Oakhurst California is the card bear capital of the world. We've got 3 of the new bears placed. We have 24 grants awarded for bears. This bear carver has gone over and above and way beyond anything I could have ever expected. The ice cream store now has theirs, and one of the gift shops, and Clash Coffee was the first one of the awards of the grants that came in. So we're gonna have bears all over.
Bears everywhere.
You forgot to add the Board of Supervisors offices that have the bears as well.
We need to, yes. And we are going to, our map is, we're going to have bears friends and family. And so anybody that's not in Oakhurst and will also be listed on our map, so.
That's a better idea than I was thinking, you know, have something out here in the entryway, a bear, and invite people to visit Yosemite.
Should apply for a grant.
Be a great one. There you go, clerk of the board, you can put your team on that one.
We've been talking about that. What's new in the Southern Gateway? So outbound Yosemite will be opening in the summer. We're excited to have that resort. It will rival, it'll be a mini Tenaya. You know, we have a lot of people go up to Tenaya, which is not in our county. Wish you guys would fix that line for us. That would be great.
Easy.
Bigfoot Bakery and Deli just opened. The Celtic Festival, like I talked about, was new last year. YSA, the Yosemite Sierra Artist Gallery, opened last year for the first time they have their own gallery in town. Public Wi-Fi at the South Gate entrance. So we've been working with Yosemite with the new digital passes. If people are sitting there at the gateway, there is no public Wi-Fi. So we have paid for public Wi-Fi at the gate. It'll be installed in like 2 weeks. This is the second of the pilot program. Groveland got the first one. And then Mariposa will hopefully be sometime this summer as well. And that way, it's free access for visitors that want, to download their passes or check out something while they're hopefully not sitting in really long lines. Holiday Magic Train, I think we need a Board of Supervisors meeting up there in December and, on the Magic Train going through the railroad area there with all the lights. It was hugely popular until the weather stopped its progress, but it was still really cool. One thing I didn't put on here is the 250th anniversary of America. I do have pens, your pens, I have them for you. They're on my desk. In Oakhurst, so I'm going to send them down with Bobby. I'll send a couple hundred or whatever, so staff and everybody can have, and supervisors can have these wonderful fun pens. And then I'm going to work with Melissa, and I were just talking about how we can help Madera have some fun celebrations as well. So be on the lookout for the summer celebration in Bass Lake and a lot of America's 250th happening throughout the mountain area. And then I wanted to remind everybody, how do I do this? That we have, let's see if I can do it this way, that we have our destination video.
When some people plan a trip, they look for the fastest path.
I went the wrong way.
No, it's because it's point mode.
Ever seen those self-propelled railroad cars that you pedal? They ought to do that at Sugarpine.
There we go.
They'd make money on that. People would come from miles to do that.
This is it. No music.
Peanut butter, no jelly.
Darn, that was going so well.
Yeah, they got audio, no visuals, visual, no audio. Cookies, no milk. Birthday, no cake.
I'm done with that, so you can. Oh.
While they're trying to figure out the audio, I want to just open it up to the rest of the board if you have any questions or comments for Rhonda. No? Okay. Well, I think, Rhonda, there's probably a lot of things that you weren't able to include in your update. I have the pleasure of sitting in on your board meetings for the 3-hour version with all the details. And so knowing all the great work that you guys are doing, I'm just very appreciative. One thing I did want to call out, though, again, looking at Brooke, is the ag map that she's been putting together and working on. I think that's something very relevant to, folks down here. Getting people to come visit the area, help them understand, the different crops that are out there. It's a very neat thing. And then building on that, agritourism, I think, is something that, is a low-hanging fruit or an opportunity for this county to look to increase our tourism. But I just want to say, Rhonda, you guys have been such a wonderful partner for the county. So thank you for all your great work. The grant program is amazing. I don't know if the board noticed, but actually there was a county-owned property there receiving grant funds from the Visitors Bureau. So I just want to point that out. And then, obviously moving forward into the future, the Visitors Bureau is just going to be such a vital partner for us as we're looking to take on projects like the Connecting Yosemite Communities, our Master Trails Plan, the Oakhurst Mobility Study. All these things are going to be, essential for the Visitors Bureau to be partnering with the county on. So thank you again for all the work that you do.
Thank you, guys. And I wanted to announce, so I'll be retiring in December.
Oh.
We're going to come out with the job description announcement in July. I just thank you for all the support you've given us for all these years and for the friendships and the, being able to help and being in part of the conversation, which is really important for us to be in these conversations with what happens in our county when it applies to us and our reach and what we can do. So appreciate all of you. I gave Karen the retirement party date, December 11th at the Pines, where I started almost 40 years ago. So it's been a long, wonderful career, and I couldn't ask for more to be able to market throughout this, this county. We're very lucky. I think there'll be a lot of people wanting to apply for that. We'll see.
Some big shoes to fill, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, well, perhaps in the essence of time, maybe just send us the link. It is a great video, so I would encourage my colleagues to watch the video when they have an opportunity. Did you have a comment?
I did have a quick question for you. Besides saying congratulations, and I've enjoyed working with you for these last 16 years. But do we have a mechanism that allows venue type or, destination type places to connect with you on the county level, from a county, like, say, business license standpoint? Do we have any kind of mechanism that allows those kind of businesses to make the connection with you for that purpose, so that you know they're there and you can direct people?
Well, I don't know. We should.
Are you asking if the county notifies the Visitors Bureau when new
Yeah,
businesses come in?
I'm thinking that it would be neat to have some kind of connection with them, because they're a vital part of the structure. You know, if somebody says, boy, gee, I'd sure like to visit a concert while I'm here. Well, AppCal hosts concerts. Gee, I'd sure like to, find this or that, and they offer this, so.
We'll have to do better with that. I'll reach out to
I
Melissa.
think that'd be a
and see.
good connection to make.
Thank you for that.
You bet.
Yeah.
At this time, I want to look to the public for any comment they may have online or in the room.
None online.
Seeing none, thank you once again, Rhonda. Appreciate
Thank you,
all your
guys.
work and
Thank
your
you so
partnership.
much.
With that, we're going to move on to item 8B, which is a fun item. So I want to invite Larry Bonham and his wife Joy up to the podium, if you may. So we have a proclamation here for the Head and Neck Cancer Move-a-thon. So I've been fortunate enough to know Larry, I want to say, for the last 5 years or so. I was sitting here scratching my brain trying to think when it was, Larry, that we got to meet. But as a result, every year for the last 5 years, I've been privileged to participate in the Move-a-thon myself. So this is our first time recognizing the Move-a-thon. So Larry, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Just as a footnote, it's very difficult to follow Yosemite, especially for a topic like this, which is the Move-a-thon really is the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance's primary fundraiser. What they do is help with the early stages in terms of prevention, diagnosis, through treatment and post-treatment for everything related to head and neck cancer. The outcomes show that they're much, much better if we can address all the things that the medical community just doesn't have time or the ability to deal with treatment. So as an example, you get radiation, oh, that's great. You go home, what's next? You get chemo, that's great. You go home, what's next? And not all of those things have great outcomes, and they can all be helped by things that are supported in the community, things that are supported by the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance, and all of us can play a role in that simply by donating to the right causes. You know, this is one cancer form. The American Cancer Society treats lots of cancers, yada, yada. I could roll on for this, and it's a good thing I didn't bring slides, or I'd be way worse than the Yosemite presentation. So anyhow, to the point of the Move-a-thon, essentially everyone involved in the Move-a-thon is getting out each day and moving. One of the big things that you can do to help with your particular cancer outcome is make sure you're getting healthy and exercise regardless of what that looks like, whether it's, you know, scooting your wheelchair around the block, whether it's walking, whether it's doing push-ups, thank you, Bobby, which is what made it for me because it transitioned out of a couple of other fundraisers that I've been part of. All of those things can help determine better outcomes for head and neck cancer victims. The organization itself actually donates money to everything up front, to everything at the end in terms of whether it's caregiving, whether it's information sources, whether it's additional resources that people can access to make their outcomes better. So I'm really pleased to be part of this, and I'm really honored that Bobby has taken it to the next level with you guys, because I think that's just a super thing. So thank you very much to Bobby and all of you as well.
Thank you for being here today, Larry. And you know, we are, as I said, traditionally, you know, we have our little push-up contest. I don't think we're going to break up in the middle of the board meeting to do that, but I do want to invite county staff as well as my colleagues after the board meeting. I think we may have a little push-up contest. And I just want to caution everybody, though, Larry has kicked my butt for the last 5 years in a row, so if you do plan on participating, you better bring it. So Larry, before we move on to the next item, we have a proclamation here. We'd love to, if you could join us up front for a quick photo. And while he's coming up, I just want to look to my colleagues, any questions or comments you may have in regards to this item? Seeing none, I'm going to look to the public for any public comment.
None online?
All right, photo time.
All right. And as you can probably tell, positivity, humor are all helpful in determining better outcomes.
You don't want to do push-ups right here? No. COO Trieber was just explaining his elbows hurt, so I don't know that he'll be participating. All right, with that, we're going to move on to item 8C.
Behavioral Health Services Department reallocating funds for increased services. Discussion and consideration of approval of receipt of unanticipated revenue number 25-108 in the amount of $1 million derived from Behavioral Health Services Federal-Mental Health to Professional and Specialized Services for fiscal year 2025-2026. 4 votes are required. Discussion and consideration of approval or transfer of appropriations number 25-108 in the amount of $6,500,000 transferred to Behavioral Health Services - Professional and Specialized Services and MHIMD from permanent salaries and retirement and co-group insurance contribution for fiscal year 2025-2026. There was a correction in the number 2 agenda item, but the backup was correct.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Hi. Good morning, Board. Randall Ridenauer, Deputy Director at Behavioral Services. This is my first time presenting here to the Board, so I'm new in this county as of September, but I come in September of last year, but I do come with 20 years experience from a neighboring county, Mariposa, in a very similar role. So, which is my overarching primary concern is the finances of behavioral health. So what we have for you today is your consideration of a budget action moving money around or unused funds in one category, salaries, for $6.5 million. And we're also recognizing the good news that our Medi-Cal revenue was higher than anticipated. So we want to recognize $1 million in additional revenue that we have received, and we're still counting. So that's a good news, that number's going up. So we want to recognize that revenue, and we want to also recognize salary savings in our salary categories of $6.5 million. Where we need to use that is for our operating expenses, primarily our inpatient hospitalizations. Those costs continue to go up. Number one, by cost increases that the vendors request in the neighborhood of from 5 to 20%. Also, because of the number of hospitalizations and their length, that's a somewhat unpredictable thing that we never know each year how many people may be hospitalized and how long they'll be in. So those expenses, we need to move the money that we have available unspent and recognize the new revenue, move it into the category of the operating expense, the 7214 category, so that we can pay hospital costs, other client treatment costs through the end of the year. So this is a necessary move so we can meet our obligations to pay vendors through the end of the year. But we do have the money there, so we're not requesting any new money from the county. We have it in salary savings, and we have it in additional Medi-Cal revenue, which is tracking higher than anticipated. So we would like to move $7.5 million total into the category so we can pay the expenses, primarily client, inpatient, and other mental health expenses through the end of the year. And I guess that's it. I'm open for any questions you might have about that. This is a common thing. It's a common thing, unfortunately, that there are mental health emergencies, in which case the client must be hospitalized. They can't be de-escalated by normal treatment or other treatment. They must go to an inpatient hospital. And these are very expensive places. And with the inflationary time, just alone, the price increases, if everything else had remained constant, would be on the order of 15 to 20%. So the cost per bed day, the cost for the physician care associated with those stays, and the length of the stay drives up those costs. So we do have, this is something that we watch very carefully, and we are glad that we have the money there, that we're not asking for any county additional funds. So we would just like to ask you to approve this budget action or consider it, and I'm here for any other questions you might have about it.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation. Looks like we have one question.
Yeah, is the increase in revenue due to the increase in enrollment?
It's increase in Medi-Cal revenue, the number of encounters we perform, and our product at behavioral health is minutes of service or client face-to-face time. So because of those services, we draw down federal match money, and that is the additional revenue that is tracking. Our initial budget was $17.2 million. Right now, we're at about $20.5 million in that fund, and we still have 3 months left. The state hasn't paid us for all of our claims, so that's a number that's looking very good. At the time that this was prepared, we just asked for $1 million, but it's above that. So that money is from maybe increased enrollment. We always try to get as many people as possible to take advantage of Medi-Cal benefits in California. We have an eligibility worker on site at behavioral health to that effect, that anyone that comes in that might need insurance, we want them to get on Medi-Cal and get the benefits that are available to them. So it's a combination of that and also our client and staff face-to-face time. So those claims go up to the state each month, and the additional money we receive back is federal participation. The federal government matches our efforts here. So that is our open-ended funding source. And thankfully, it's doing very well, and we're wanting to get it better.
Thank you for that. Any additional questions, comments from my colleagues? Okay, at this time, we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have in the room or online.
None online?
All right, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for action. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Let's move to item 8D. Thank you, Randall. Thank you.
Office of Information Technology, discussion and authorization to purchase a Microsoft Enterprise Software Licensee Program with the California Department of Technology for the acquisition and continuation of Microsoft 365 GCC licensing in the amount of $5,600,000 $16,634.98, and agree to the California Department of Technology Service Catalog, General Terms and Conditions, effective April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2031.
Good morning, Ted.
Good morning, Board Chair, members of the board, and thanks for having me here today. This item we have before you is, as was stated, an extension of our agreement with Microsoft through the California Department of Technology. This will allow us to continue to use our Microsoft Office products. That's Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, those products that we use on a daily basis for just about everybody who uses a computer in the county. And this will allow us to extend those terms through March 31st of 2031.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Very much appreciate you bringing this item before the board. Any questions, comments from my colleagues? Yes, sir.
What is the fee based on? Is it number of users, approximate? What's it based on?
It's per license, and that's a named user. So we have about just over 1,700 licenses in the county. We've actually cut that down by about 135 from last year. We continue to scrub our numbers and look and see where licenses aren't being used, and we either turn them back in or we reuse them as we get new employees.
Great. So as they decrease, the costs decrease?
So this will be for a fixed number through this year, or for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
If we do add, then we do what's called a true-up, and we would have to purchase more. But as we said, as somebody leaves, we're doing a really good job of making sure that we're recovering that license and holding it for whoever else comes back on.
I can imagine over the nation, that's pretty lucrative business.
It's a big business. Fortunately, as a government entity, we get a discount. Not quite as much as education, but much more over the private sector.
Wow.
I remember because I used to have to purchase those, so yeah,
Okay,
it's not
thank
cheap.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Unless there are any additional comments or questions from my colleagues, we're going to look to the public for any comment they may have.
None online.
Hearing no public comment, we're going to bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhoff?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCulley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Excellent. Let's go to 8E.
Office of Information Technology, discussion on authorization for Microsoft licensing renewal for SHI International Corp. for server operating system, diagramming and development licenses, as well as database and server management licenses for a term of May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2029.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, Board Chair and members of the board. I guess I should tell you who I am. Ted Uosaka, the CIO for Madera County Office of Information Technology. This one is another Microsoft agreement. This is through the Riverside County contract, another discounted contract for state and local governments that is used quite a bit throughout the state. This will help us to extend our agreement to cover all of our server licenses, the operating systems, and the database systems. Also for products such as Visio. They're products that we use on a limited basis, but they're included in this contract, not in the larger one that we just approved. This also gives us all the management tools we need to do database management, making sure our data is kept up to date, clean, and safe. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you for that. Do we have any comments, questions from my colleagues? Any public comment?
None online.
Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhoff?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCulley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you.
With that, we're going to move on to item 9, our pending legislation. As you all recall, we did take up an item of subsequent need from the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District.
It wasn't on the agenda.
Thank you, Chairman. Matt Traber, your County Administrative Officer. So the request is authorization for the chair to sign and submit a letter up to the governor's office, as well as several leaders there for a budget request to continue the funding for orchard recycling and, to provide the necessary funds for our growers and farmers here in the valley to have alternatives as we phase out of the burning of ag materials there. So it's a budget request to continue funding that, $75 million over the 5-year term there. So just looking for authorization to get that to the chair for signature and submittal.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you to my colleagues for taking this item up. I did bring it to the board, and it's just one of those things, with Sigma being implemented, I think it's very likely that we're going to continue to see more lands being fallowed. We all know this. But absent of funding of this nature, I think what we'll be left with is, fields that pose a risk of fire, fields that, create additional hazards in pests and disease. So it's essential that, the Air District has these funds to work with farmers so that way we can get those lands cleaned up as they come around. So again, I do appreciate everybody's willingness to take this item up. Are there any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is a good program, and they took away the cogeneration plant operations, so they needed to develop an alternative to that. I think that the state funding is a mechanism that helps that. They do chip a lot of the material, and by the way, if you take those, be careful that you watch them for a few days, spread them out a little bit because they can self-combust, and you just have to be careful with them. I've taken, they'll deliver them for free around, if they're looking for places continually to dispose of those chips, and they're really good for around trees and plants and gardening and that kind of thing. So it's a great alternative. Plus, they compost rather well if you want to compost them and turn them into fertilizer. So it's a good alternative. Anyway, I support the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments, questions from my colleagues? Hearing none, we'll look to the public for any public comment.
None online.
Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Rogers? Yes. Supervisor Baumha?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we're going to look for supervisor and staff reports. We'll start with Supervisor Rogers.
Turned my mic off on accident there. Been a busy time. Still working with the fairgrounds on improving their the fair look, and it's really turning out great. Working on a process right now for their drainage problems, so really helpful. The CAO is working with the city on a tax sharing agreement, and I really appreciate that because it's important that each jurisdiction carries their fair share. And I also want to say that I want to give thanks to the Public Works Director for quick and smooth operation in installing some rumble strips at a location where there was significant accidents over time. A request was made from one of the city council members on a property outside of the city limits, and he took care of it within a week. And many kudos on that. It just made us look like we're responsive, and we are, because we are responsive. So thank you very much for that, Dominic. And I'm expecting a meeting on Wednesday with the MCTC.
Thank you for that. Supervisor Gonzalez?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Supervisor Wama?
Yes, on Saturday, attended the Rolling Hill Citizens Association annual meeting. It was good. Had quite a few folks from the county. Miss Bax was out there. Miss Amy Toller was out there discussing trap and release and other things related to issues that they're having out there in Rolling Hills. And just good to connect with those folks. It's not a big community, but man, they are engaged. So always good to be out there. I wanted to thank everyone for celebrating my 40th birthday. Can't believe it. 40, geez. And then I have a town hall on the 29th of April at the Ranchos Library at 5:30 PM. I know some folks from the county and other allied agencies will be out there giving updates to those folks, but please mark your calendars for April 29th, 5:30 at the Ranchos Library. And that's all I got.
Excellent. Thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Karen?
And nothing to report, thank you.
No report, Chair. Thank you.
Your CAO?
Nothing to report.
Thank you for that. All I have to report is we did the Raymond Parade on Saturday. It was a heck of a lot of fun. Was able to get former Supervisor Wheeler out there, and man, just a good time to be out in Raymond. So that is all I have to report, and we will move into back into closed session in just a moment. But before we do, I want to lead us on a happy birthday to my colleague to my left. So if we may. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jordan. Happy birthday to you. Hey, we had some harmony in there. Gone.
Very melodic. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, thank you everyone who's supported me over the time I've been here. It's been such a great experience and honor to represent the folks. And I also want to give a special shout out to the deputy who's in here and keeping us safe from those wackos and maybe storming the doors. So thank you.
I hope this is the best year yet, my friend. All right, we will retire back into closed session.
Record.
All right, we are back from closed session. Council, do we have any reportable action out of closed session?
Chair, there's no reportable action from your closed session.
Excellent. Thank you for that. This
Thank you.
meeting is adjourned. You know the scaffold was made in China? Perfect.